Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me once again. You know, I spend half of my time on this channel gobbing off about the Keir Starmers of the world, the Nigel Farages of the world, and the general state of our politics and all the other bits and pieces that are in the news. I'm a normal guy giving my opinion. Well, first and foremost, I'm a taxi driver. What goes on the roads in our nation's capital and everywhere else affects my business and the way I do things. Now, one of the things that very much concerns me is this talk about pay per mile. I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues earlier today about what kind of form that could take and what effect it would have. I did a video about it the other day, and the thumbnail's here, pay per mile coming. And we very much expect that within the budget itself, there will be some mention of a pay per mile taxation system. Whether that replaces existing vehicle excise duty or will run alongside it, we will have to see. But it forms part of this anti-car agenda that we're used to seeing. And I did a video earlier on about an experience that I have on a near daily basis at the moment, which is causing absolute misery for the job, which I've been doing for a number of years. What I wanted to do with this video was go through some of your comments on the pay per mile video and see what you had to say. It's very important, and I'm trying to keep up with this as much as possible, potentially around the evening time, and most of you are about, where we can have a chat and a debate about what you say on previous videos. So here we go. Let's put this on the screen and see what we got. We'll start with Claire. Is that Claire Patrick? Claire Patrick, 1066. This will not do the economy any good. This will put this country into a deep depression. It depends how severe they are with it and what they do with it. But it will be particularly people like myself, logistical companies, anybody shifting, you know, groceries from point A to point B around the country. It really is horrible. It depends whether they run it alongside vehicle excise or, you know, at the end of the day, freemen of the road and all that, they're public highways. So why the hell should we be taxed for driving on our own roads anyway? And let's face it, this vehicle excise duty, I don't think is going where it's supposed to be anyway. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see how exactly they go with it. Paul Gibson, there'll be no more. I'll just pop round. There will be no more. I will just pop round. It will be can't afford it. Yeah, absolutely. Can't afford it. Don't drive it. Is that what they're after? Spiderlog, hello, long-time supporter of the channel. Here's a thought. In this anti-car thing, or visit more anti-human or anti-community thing, make it impossible to try and get anywhere, in addition to the 15 minutes thing that seems to have gone quiet. Yes, that has gone quiet at the moment. We were very big on this a little while ago, weren't we, whereby they wanted to divide all of our cities and all of our areas up into different segments and only allow us travel from one segment to another a certain amount of times a year by an indirect route, and potentially fine us if, you know, we went over that. And with the exposure that was brought to that whole concept, oh no, there wasn't ads. It's gone very quiet. And I do imagine it may well still be being spoken about in the background, but there we go. JC Fallows, I think all drivers running taxis should get into an EV as soon as possible if you want to survive. There are great bargains about it. Is a must. The problem with that, JC Fallows, I see what you're saying. I have two problems, maybe three: the range, the price, and the availability of what I would need in the vehicle I require. They're very, very big, things for me, which would stop me going into an electrical vehicle. I'm a little bit, I mean, we're probably quite cheap down this neck of the woods where I live for some of the fares we charge compared with others. So it's not really a viable option at the moment, but it would certainly make people think if they went down that route, wouldn't it? Let's see what happens. I can see us talking about the budget very soon. John Radford, oh my God. Well, simply sums it up, doesn't it? Round 64, man, it will hit anyone who lives in the suburbs or rural most. That usually means low earners demand a public vote against it. We should have a vote. It's a major change to the way things are done, isn't it? Eskimo Julie, paper mile instead of road fund license, probably not. Also, if people give up their cars, the government will think of shit, we've lost our cash cow, so we'll raise other taxes. So, in effect, we will be paying to not have a car. Labour is a blight on this country. You know, I talked about this in my video previously on Keir Starmer's speech. At the end of the day, he's saying we're not going to raise income tax, we're not going to raise VAT. But you look at all the other little pitfalls and all the other little areas where we get done. Didn't mention any of them, did he? And he said the budget is going to be painful. I can't wait. Okay. Richard, unfortunately, the Vox Populi voted for Labour, and this is what you get. You get what you vote for. Yeah, I think they got a massive majority, but off the back of a very low percentage of the public vote. Was it we were just pissed off with the Tories, and there was too many that believe in this two-party system, couldn't break out of it? Maybe it was an inevitable disaster waiting to happen. Castle Bravo 100. I don't see how a paper mile system can work unless there is a camera at every road junction. The bits of data being collected would run into tens of millions of hours at peak traffic times. Imagine the chaos there would be when someone in Russia hacks the system and adds 3 zeros to everyone's bill. Also, how will the cameras detect number plates in thick fog, heavy rain or snow? You make a valid point there. There's massive problems of any camera-driven systems to that regard all over the place. Somebody made a comment, and I'm sure it's on here, and I know I got emailed about it. They already run a paper mile system of sorts in, I think it was New Zealand. I'm willing to be stand corrected, but you have to pay in advance and say, this is the amount of miles I'm going to do, and there are severe penalties if you don't register your journey. Very much a controlling mechanism. But like you say, how is it enforced? That's what I'd love to know. That's probably why all these cameras are going up everywhere. Russell Duros, the budget and the narrative is things are dire, is the get out for decimating people's income and taxing people into bankruptcy. Yeah, I see it coming. I mean, anybody here with any kind of wealth or anybody here with any kind of, saving is going to get crucified. And, if you've got savings in traditional banks, I would suggest diversifying where you put them. And anybody with any wealth or any business acumen, I can see leaving the country. I really can. Pete Harris and the DWP won't be able to cope with all the people who drive for a living signing on. That's where it will drive people. No motivation to get out and work. And then we'll get another government in later who think the opposite, and then all those people will be complaining. Same old. DC Casto, paper lane next, followed by paper route. You know it. Lubert, the Limor Stammer bandwagon will stop at nothing to increase their revenues from the hard-push motorist by any means necessary. Yes. I mean, we saw a lot of this in places like London and also Wales to an extent. It was almost like a test bed, a proving ground for technologies that they could screw us all over with if they ever got in, which, of course, now they have. Not a great situation. Psy 2681, I think a lot of us will be screwed. I have to work up and down the country. This could put an end to my job. Scary times. I mean, if they charge enough to warrant it, me personally, I will probably go to some kind of mileage rate rather than a fixed rate. And, look at it if and when it happens. Angela Regan, we all need to refuse to pay. It would take millions, handfuls of people up and down saying, no, I'm not doing that. Not much of an effect. It would have to be millions. The current system is grossly unfair. This is Ivor Lloyd, based on the vehicle being used. Hence, someone driving a modern, low emissions vehicle doing thousands of miles a year pays less than granny doing a few miles a week. Tax per mile means use it, pay for it. Don't use it, don't have to pay for it. Sounds fair to me. If you're talking lower kind of mileage usage, maybe. But, it's opening up big pitfalls for many people. Phil Hunter, you got what you wished for. Ked MG, then it will be time to move to another country. I think many people, if they have the means, will do, to be honest with you. And this isn't the only reason why. Tara, they will always target law-abiding citizens, don't they? Always the easy target. Harry, where's all our tax money going? Hotel bills for my grants, plus all their little luxuries. Yes, this is the thing, we get taxed and we get told we've got to pay blah, 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 blah to whoever. And it's not actually clear whether or not it's going where we think it's going. And there's many things that are coming out through freedom of information requests and all that sort of stuff now, which prove without a shadow of a doubt we're getting screwed royally. Now, Harry, it's all about EVs, which refuel at home and thus pay no tax. They'll probably note your mileage at MOT time and send you a bill or add it to the MOT bill. I wonder as well with EVs, and particularly with this push to get smart meters in as many houses as possible, is there a way of monitoring things that way? Maybe. Who knows? Every time you plug an EV in, well, hang on a minute, they've been driving. Past Blundell, another daft Blairite idea. It's been in the works for ages. Paul Jarrett, government should not build more houses. Needed land for horses to go to work, or maybe no one to go to work, get no tax in. Yeah, and there's this new thing as well, isn't there, where he's encouraging workers the fact that they can sign off if they want to or switch off. That's very much a work from home-esque idea, isn't it? Ivan Whisker again, it's only for electric cars. It's their version of road tax. If they do this, the amount of cars on the road that will have their mileage fiddle will be astronomical. Buy a scan tool for a few £100. Change it every year, as it will come down to your yearly MOT. Mileage cameras won't work, as you need every back lane small road in the UK watched, which is impossible. I asked my MOT mechanic about this, and he said it's for electric cars only. Thank you for that. And that might tie in with my last comment about smart meters. I wonder. And it could be why they're pushing for them. Philip Coles, I live in North Wales. Our nearest big place for shopping is 18 miles away. This will kill villages. Well, they said rural places will get hit hard. On track rail films, we shouldn't be paying anything to drive on the roads built using our money. Yeah, it's public highway, isn't it? Absolutely. They want the roads and airways clear of us peasants contained in our 15-minute cities, living in state-owned houses like lab rats, because it all cost-based to the rich and elite will be unaffected by Starmer's WEF and EU policies. This is their utopia, and there'll be nothing you can do about it. And if you complain, your bank accounts will be frozen. Yes, the social credit routine, which has been discussed many times. Couple more comments. Pete Bingham, not to mention the increase on groceries as delivery costs will increase. Yep, they will, along with everything else. Declan Tooney, now people are what's coming. Absolutely wondering what's coming. Last comment here. Rob Greenhill. People who work in the community, i.e. district nurses, social workers, care workers, need their cars to go from visit to visit. This mileage for their work in their own cars often is far more than they would do for their personal mileage. So unless there will be a substantial increase in it, what they can claim, and bearing in mind HMRC allow 45p a mile, those working for private care agencies get far less. There'll be even more out of pocket. Ultimately, services to the elderly and the vulnerable will suffer. You see, this could have quite a far-reaching effect on just about everybody that involves a car or some kind of transport somewhere, and we'll have to wait and see what they have in store. Well, thank you, everybody. That's a load of your comments there, read out and addressed and answered to in most cases. I appreciate all of your input. I really do. You know, it's very easy with YouTube to lose control of the comments. If I showed you the number of comments that I've had since I started the channel in earnest 4 years ago, you'd be amazed. You're talking millions, literally millions. And I try and do this to get to as many as I can. If you want to be kept up to date with this Cabby here, giving his opinion on current events and what I think of what's going on, or bringing you any other news that you've not necessarily heard of, then please make sure you subscribe to the channel. You'll be among mainly like-minded people here. Really appreciate it. We're only about 1,800 off 100,000 subscribers. And believe me, a couple of years ago, I didn't think that would ever happen. So I'm really humbled and really pleased with all your support. It means a lot to me. And I continue. Hit the like button. And make sure you share me on your social media. And as always, I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.